Hello, it's Derek from Urban Bigfooter. I'm at the location now of where I established a relationship with these beings for 10 years. I definitely have something here with me. I'm getting a lot of movement in the marsh in that direction right over there. I got some movement going on over here. But the reason why I stepped in this point right here is to show you this footprint. Right here is the heel, and right there is the top part. Right, this is a new footprint. See if we can locate another one. So that looks like a right foot, so he would be walking in this general direction. They're pretty smooth, you know, but that was pretty heavy. I'm not leaving any indentations whatsoever in this. I haven't picked up another one, but I got a few right over here. This looks like, that one looks like it's coming out right to the gifting area. That one, there's the one I just showed you first, was coming in. That one looks like it was coming out. They took everything with this Sour Patch Kid. That was very interesting, huh? I want to open it up for them, because sometimes well, I'm just going to leave it alone. Hey, it's a Sour Patch Kid. It's candy. All you got to do is open the plastic. I'm going to leave it here for you again. All right. And I brought, so they can understand you. I know there's something here with me, because I heard them walking in that general direction right over there. Right. You could just tell. I mean, and it just got done raining, so you think they would be really quiet, but it was like coming through the marshy weeds, right? You know what I mean? Or the grass. That's what it sounded like. Something was coming through it, because the marsh is right over in that direction, and it was pretty loud. They weren't masking, and they get excited. Sometimes they get excited when I bring them food, right? And I believe I'm dealing with a lot of juveniles in this area. Of course, I had 13 faces in a photograph that were just more than juveniles, but you know, maybe they're sharing. I don't know too much. I mean, you know, I'm not an expert, and I never claim to be, because unless you have a sit down talk with these guys, you know, you're not going to know too much. But look, here's some of the bows, right? That's the bows on their structure. We got a large bow right above it that they did 10 days ago. Let me show you another, so get some more bows right here. Gets going across the whole structure, and we got 2 more up there that are bent as well. As I came into this area, I came across another bow they did here recently. I didn't take any photographs or video. We got some more bows right back through here. We got a bow right here. So this area is pretty much there's a lot of activity in this area. So today I'm going to be giving them, let me see what we got in here. Some more some chicken tenders with some kind of roll, like a egg roll or something like that. I brought them some fruit. They love fruit, and I'm just gonna leave the fruit right down here. And one thing I forgot to mention on the last video about this place was all the sticks that I stuck up. You know, the balance sticks were knocked down, and we're gonna stick up a few more. We're gonna do one right here, do one right there. That looks pretty balanced, right? Can you see it? It's this one, this stick right here. We're gonna do one there. Let's do one. We're just gonna do them away from the gifting area, because I know they're watching me, because this area they definitely watch when I come in. Maybe not so much the new area, but that's not true. I'm contradicting myself, because they got scouts on you the whole time you're in their house, because we're in their house right now. So I just put another stick up there. I'm gonna show you. You do this type of stuff in your area. Try it out. Because Scott Carpenter is the one who turned me on to this, right? Watching some of his videos. That's how I learned a lot, through Scott Carpenter, right? Because I had encounters with these beings, and I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what was going on, and I learned a lot from him. And then on the job training, right? Just getting out in the woods and spending a lot of time in the woods, because that's where they live. You know what I mean? They're very careful beings. They're not going to be standing out in the middle of a field. They're going to walk during nighttime, walk hedgerows. They're going to walk, and they cover up their tracks the best as they can, right? But if you know what you're looking for, and you know what you're looking at, you can find their tracks, and you can find their paths, and you can find some of their, especially if you got bows and breaks in your areas, they're in your area, right? So we got a nice trail that just, I don't know if you can see it, it's pretty wide. It goes all the way back. It goes back in that direction. But like I said, I'm not here alone. I know they're right up watch me. I'm just gonna say hey to them. Hey, what's up, buddy? Whoop! So I just heard some movement right up in here. Huh. And they'll do that. So look, I'm right on a creek, right? Or cove, or however you want to say it. And usually blue herons are the alarm dogs, or the alarm birds, right? If you're coming across a blue heron, it will start making squawking noises and get up and fly away. Well, when they're on the move, when these beings are on the move around the shoreline, I'll get 2 or 3 blue herons on the shoreline just start squawking and moving away. So that's when I know they're moving in close. But it's a good day for them to get tight into me, because gosh, like I said, it just got done raining. It'd be easy to sneak up on these, come up close up with these pine needles. Man, I am just getting movement all around me. I'm not really feeling uneasy, because I have never heard of reports of them ever hurting anybody in my area, especially an urban area. But I don't want to be the first, right? But in any case, they're not bad people, right? And that's what I think they are. That's what I believe they are. They're people. They're just a different type of people, that have different abilities. They're a higher vibration being that carries higher energy, right? Because we as beings, we all have energy that we manifest. And we can use that energy for certain things, like if you were in a crowded room and you were screaming at somebody, you're using that energy, you're using negative energy to impact a person via yelling and screaming, right? And that's what the energy's for, right? Staring, you know when somebody's staring at you across the room, or in the woods. Wait a minute, what? I'm seeing something right there. Let me zoom in. I saw what appeared to be a head pop around one of those trees, but it was quick. I don't see it anymore. But woods are kind of dark now, and we're in the middle of the day. Gosh, it just sounds like something is walking up on me. But in any case, so we're leaving them some food. We just balanced some sticks again, right? We're gonna definitely come back, and they'll be knocked down. That they never, and if it agitated them, they would have grabbed it and thrown it, right? They would have just chunked it, I believe, right? But I believe they're playing like a little game with me, you know. Let me know, just, you know, and that's why I believe it's mostly juveniles that I deal with. But if anybody has any thoughts or comments on that, leave it down in the comment section. You know, I'm not an expert, and I'm open to other thoughts and ideas. Right? I'm not an arrogant or prideful person. And, you know, like and subscribe. You know, we're going to take this journey together. So tomorrow I'm investigating a location that is, gosh, it's right in town. Right, we have a lot of hedgerows, and we got a lot of creek systems that kind of run in town or close. And so there was a report of 2 large black men. You know, I mean, I played it slow. 2 large black men creeping at like 3 in the morning. That was one of the reports. That was I'm a friend with friends with a couple police officers, and that was something that they mentioned to me. Hey, you know, because they know what I'm into, and they're like, you know, they came on site. They didn't find anybody. They didn't find anybody creeping around, and you're definitely not going to find these guys. And once you come on site, they're gone. And in the same location, this gentleman, a year ago, he was going through some tough times, and he was living in a tent in that area, right? And I would go out and visit him, and I'd pray for him. I'd bring him food and sleeping bags and water and such, right? And just talk with him. And he would tell me that, right on the edge of dark, he would have things thrown at him, like little pebbles and little acorns. He thought that his tent was being bothered with one night. He told me it sounded like somebody was took their fingernails and was rubbing down the edge of the tent. And I've heard this type of stuff before. And they were in his area where he was sleeping, you know, because you know, like I said, there were reports of these beings, and it was close to my home, right? So it was right around the corner. So I you know, not with 100% accuracy, but I truly believe that these beings were messing with him, seeing what they were, you know, what he was all about. And also this lady who had a report of seeing 2 large black men creeping. We're kind of in the same area. And tomorrow we're going to go and we're just going to see if we can find any signs of these beings, right? In that area, right? And like I said, it's right around the corner from my house, so I guarantee we're going to find something. And this weekend I'm trying to set up a night adventure, you know, getting out in these woods and getting my tent and just have a normal old night, you know what I mean? Maybe take one of my kids and we can come out here and have a good time and see what we see and see what we can hear, you know? But anyway, well, look, have a blessed day in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Like and subscribe, and we're going to take this journey together. We're going to go to different locations. We're going to investigate reports. You know, we're going to have a good time. At least I'm going to have a good time. And I hope you have a good time watching, right? I'm not going to make these videos long. I'm going to make them short and sweet. And, but if I come across something very interesting, I'll just extend the video. But look, have a nice day. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.